There's a version of this video where I talk about the Lost arc like a critic, where I kind of break down the pacing, the direction, and the adaptation choices, and tell you why the numbers are so high. And I'll get to some of that, because the numbers are absurd. We are talking episodes rated 9.8, 9.9, the highest rated anime of 2026 so far. But that's not really why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because the Lost arc did something to me that anime rarely does. It didn't hype me up. It didn't blow me away with animation. It just quietly, patiently broke me. And now that it's over, we're a few weeks out from the recapture arc, picking the story back up, and I want to sit with it for a bit. I want to talk about what this arc actually did, and why I think it might be the most honest thing the isekai genre has ever produced. Spoilers ahead for all of Raise Zero Season 4 First Core. If you're not caught up, genuinely stop watching this video and just go. So let's start out with the premise, because on paper it almost sounds like a gimmick. Subaru loses his memories. All of them. Everything since the day he arrived in this world. And usually when I first heard that's where Arc 6 goes, I was kind of skeptical. I mean, personally for me, I don't know how anyone else feels, but amnesia plots are kind of cheap if you think about it. They're like a trick, a reset button where people don't know really what to do, they're out of ideas. But the fact that Raise Zero not only made it work, but made it the emotional peak of the entire series so far, now that is something what this story understands that most stories don't. Because here's the thing, for most protagonists, losing your memories means losing information. For Subaru, it means losing proof. Think about who Subaru is by season 4 starts. He's not a shut-in from episode 1 anymore. He's died more times than we can count. He's clawed his way through loops that would shatter anyone. And every single one of those deaths, every loop, every failure, nobody remembers them but him. His growth was never written on the world. It was only ever written on him. His memories are the only place his suffering ever actually happens. And then the tower takes them. What's left is the kid from episode 1, confused, insecure, scared, waking up surrounded by strangers who look at him with this overwhelming warmth he cannot understand. Emilia completely trusts him. Beatrice chose him as her partner. These people love him. They love the version of him that, as far as he's concerned, does not exist. And watching that, man, the show forces you to sit in that disconnect for so long. Beatrice, looking at him and slowly realizing she contracted with the person she is contracted with is gone. Subaru, trying to fake his way through relationships he has no context for, because he can tell how much it would hurt these strangers to know the truth. But the moment that actually got me, the one that I keep coming back to, is when Subaru starts reading the books of the dead, records of people's entire lives, and he uses them to learn about himself. He reads about things he did, the people he saved, the ways he suffered, and he hates it. He looks at this person everyone loved, this hero, this partner, this friend, and he can't connect it to the terrified kid he feels like inside. And I think that's the moment the Lost arc stops being a fantasy story and becomes something else. Because that gap between who people think you are, who you used to be, and who you feel like right now, that's not an isekai, bro. That's just being a person. Have you ever looked back at an older version of yourself? Felt like you were reading about a stranger? Or had people expect you to be someone you're not sure you can be anymore? I mean, that's the feeling this arc lives inside for 11 episodes. It just happens to be wearing a fantasy story as a coat. Then there's the twist of the knife, return by death. Subaru's one constant, the ability that defined the entire series. The safety net under every tragedy, because no matter how bad it got, he could always come back and fix it, except the save point was set right after his memories were taken. So he dies and comes back empty, again and again. The mechanic that always saved him is now part of the trap. He's looping without even understand why he loops. I need you to appreciate how gutsy that is as a writing decision. The show took its own premise, the thing on the box, the reason the series is called Re:Zero, and turned it against its own hero. Most running series spend their later arcs giving the protagonist more power, more allies, more certainty. Re:Zero looked at a character we spent 10 years with and asked, what if actually we just take it all? Just get rid of it. And the answer to that question is why this arc broke me. Because what is left is still Subaru. Not the memories, not the experience, something underneath all of that. There's this moment, and you've seen it because you know exactly the one, where amnesiac Subaru, with no history, no context, no reason, starts reaching towards the same people anyways. He looks at Amelia, and something in him chooses her again. Not because of everything they've been through. He doesn't have that anymore. He chooses her because of who he is at his core, underneath everything the world wrote on him. And I don't know, something about that wrecked me in the gentlest way possible. Because it is the hopeful answer to the scariest question. If you lost everything that made you, every experience, every lesson, every scar, would you still be you? And the Lost Ark says yes. The love wasn't stored in the memories, it was deeper than that. Your experience shapes you, but they aren't the whole of you. There's a self that persists underneath. I mean, I've been watching anime most of my life, and I can count on one hand the shows that have tried something like that, let alone said it this well. Now, I said at the start I'd put my critic hat for a moment, so let me zoom in, because the context around this arc makes it even more remarkable. Isekai as a genre, I would say, is in decline. And that's not being me dramatic. The fatigue is everywhere. The discourse is everywhere. Even publishers are feeling it financially. Years of blank slate protagonists and frictionless power fantasies trained audiences to expect nothing from these stories. The genre optimized for comfort until there was nothing left to care about. And in the middle of that decline, Re:Zero puts up the best reviewed anime of the year by doing the exact opposite of everything the genre stands for. No new powers, no wish fulfillment, no comfort, 11 episodes of dismantling its hero instead of upgrading him. And here's why that worked, and why it couldn't work for most isekai. You can't take everything from a character who never had anything. The Lost Ark only devastates because Subaru was specific. Because we spent 4 seasons attached to his fears, his growths, his ugly moments, his earned relationships. The blank self-insert protagonist was designed so we could protect ourselves onto him. Subaru was written so we could believe in him. And when the story took him apart, we felt it because there was something real to lose. That's the whole lesson, honestly. The genre was never the problem. The emptiness was. So now the recapture arc is almost here. August 12th, 8 episodes, and the title alone tells you what's coming. This is the part where Subaru fights to take back what the tower took. I have no idea how it lands at it as an adaptation, but the Lost Arc earns something from me that very few shows have: complete trust. And honestly, I think the Lost Arc is going to stay with me either way. Not because of the ratings or the discourse or what it means for the genre, because every once in a while, a story reaches through the screen and asks you a question about yourself. Who are you underneath everything that's happened to you? And I didn't expect it from an isekai. So thank you for watching. The recapture arc premieres August 12th, and I will probably be covering it. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.